Of the issues that I know you say that some people know, but some people need to hear it again,
Yeah.
right? So what are those issues that we're having now? Because
Yeah.
there used to be no puppies in the shelters.
Right. Yeah. So one of the biggest reasons that this has become such an epidemic of homeless dogs is there's dogs breeding constantly.
People
everywhere.
buying dogs.
Yeah. People have bought dogs for breeding. People are dumping dogs without spaying or
Surrendering
neutering them.
dogs, yeah.
And then, I mean, every day we get calls. People have 4 or 5 puppies, boxes of puppies. Someone dropped puppies at this person's house. So I don't know what's happening where all of these dogs are just breeding like crazy. I don't know if it's just so many homeless dogs out on the streets that we need to be picking up. But with what happened with the pandemic, when everybody adopted every dog and wasn't able to socialize them, weren't able to train them because we were all, no one's working,
Everybody's
everybody's at home, and then everybody went back to work, and suddenly you have these 6-month, 8-month-old dogs that are not puppies anymore. And I think a lot of people think that if you take them to the shelter, that they're
gonna take care of them.
Yeah, they have this better chance that they'll get adopted.
But they end up euthanized.
Unfortunately,
it's crazy.
With how many dogs there are, it's a very high percentage that this dog is going to get killed.
So we're in like in a horrible situation, like after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's not fault of the shelters.
No.
Because they are
No,
overwhelmed.
the shelters are doing
Yeah, because a lot of
everything
people
that they
take it
can.
on the shelters and they're like, oh my God, they're killing dogs. And yes, of course it's
Yeah.
gotta be insanely hard. And I can't even imagine going through
Yeah.
that. But like, they have to like control somehow, and like, it's
Yeah.
just something,
What we want to try to do, and the reason that these dogs get saved is because there's advocates for these dogs. There's volunteers.
Yeah.
And they come in and they make a short little video and they post the dog, and we see it, or another rescue sees it, and we save them. And that's the only reason these dogs get saved, because everything else on the website, it's one picture, a small description of the dog. I mean, these dogs, they just need somebody fighting for them. And then people need to stop breeding dogs. Like
people need to stop breeding
have
dogs.
To stop breeding
yes,
dogs.
I totally agree.
I understand you want to make money and you want to make a profit, but these dogs that are being bred are not being bred well. They're not being taken care of. And Los Angeles
end up in the streets.
Yeah, they end up in the streets. They end up in shelters just like anywhere else, because puppies grow up to be big dogs, and people are not educated on the training that they need and the behavioral issues they're going to have. Dogs really aren't that complicated, but people seem to think that any sort of hindrance that they cause in their life, they just give up.
I know.
And it's easy.
Yeah,
to
just
give
because
up.
they are high energy, or or the hair or something like that, they just give up on them, and that it's just not it's not only adopting, but doing it responsibly, right?
Yeah, and if you're gonna adopt a dog, don't get a German Shepherd and don't get a Husky unless you have the time and the space for it, because those are the dogs that most end up in shelters, and pit bulls too. But what I'm seeing a lot of is Huskies and German Shepherds.
And that's because maybe they're not right for people. They realize that
I think
once
they're
they grow up,
so cute as puppies, the little fluff balls, and then they grow up and they need a lot of work and they need a lot of training, and people don't have the ability to afford it, or they don't have the time to put into it, and like that's just the problem is people are getting dogs so irresponsibly.
Got it.